BLUELOCK chapter 340 has just released. BLUELOCK's Jokers are finally here as the second half kicks off with them continuing their attack. Unexpected team-ups, BLUELOCK on the offense, and a cliffhanger we've all been waiting for. However, if you don't know already, this chapter is unfortunately only 10 pages long, a half chapter due to Nomura, the artist, being sick, so it's all good. We hope for the GOAT's fast recovery. The second half is arguably where the real game starts. Everyone's been waiting for these players, so let's not waste any more time and jump into it quick. The chapter starts with the announcers hyping up Japan versus France entering the second half, calling it a non-stop intensity. You know the game is hyped for the commentators as well because Natsuki is fist bumping in the air screaming go. Bro turned into Roderick. We're down a point going into the second half and they got this big screen to remind us as we see the second half kick off. Rin starts making his way up. Isagi starting with the ball, passes it back to Karasu of all people. So I guess the beef is squashed. Ego really the mediator because just a few minutes ago they were about to box. Hugo and Loki are standing at the front lines, but immediately Karasu hits a pass. Mind you, this is the second page, so we going straight into the action. There was no build-up or anything, but running towards the pass, it's none other than Shidou Ryusei. The zesty demon is finally here. 1 second and bro already speaking music notes. The ball lands on him, but he blocks Chappa, damn near hitting him with the same move from Fire Force. BLUELOCK is moving quick for the second half because Shidou immediately sends the ball away again, but pay attention to the corner, folks. Mikage Ryo is here. And again, we instantly see another pass before Layden can block him. Got bro staring at a ball that's already gone. I'm messing with the instant passes because the first half we kept the ball too long and couldn't get past the defenders, so this plan is doing wonders for us. Ryo's pass is headed straight towards Karasu, who has 2 people on him. But before bro can get jumped, Karasu receives the pass, weaving not 1, but 2 of the players, which got them absolutely perplexed. Man's right here looks like he's seen a ghost, and bro in the front trying to get an arm on bro. His face telling me he was trying to resort to violence. I gotta give some applause though. Karasu was clean as hell. Even if you don't agree with bro because of the first half, you gotta give him some credit. Bro's putting up some numbers. He then says, this half we're striking back, and this is the energy we need. I know we're going against the Avengers team of Loki, Hugo, and Charles, but it's good they got hope. Speaking of which, all 3 players, Loki, Hugo, and Charles appear, with Charles saying interesting and Loki pointing out that they changed their entire strategy. Hugo agrees saying, yeah, a complete change from before, and I'm gonna be honest, as much as I want to see BLUELOCK and their subs for the second half, I want to see what Hugo is gonna do or how he's gonna react to the subs. Because there has been one too many memes of Barou reacting to what Hugo has to say, and it's literally so true. But jumping back to it, we see Karasu's crow soaring over the field, and yo, Karasu really got motion. First, the fit upgrade was immaculate, and now they got his crow flying around like it's the Infinity Castle. He really pulled out the hand signal like Megumi. Anyways, Karasu hits a pass to Ryo, and Ryo immediately hits it towards Shidou, who is all smiles and sunshines, while Hugo commentates that they've started a triangle passing pattern with Karasu as the crux. Charles pulls up in front of Shidou, which he's been waiting for this entire game, but Shidou dodges the fade by passing to his side yet again and screaming out, die, sending it over to Hiyori. There was no reason for bro to say that, but I just want to point out Shidou playing with the team is kind of an odd sight to see. By no means am I saying it's bad, but it's kind of just weird seeing it. It's like those things you're not used to after it changes. But with Hiyori having the ball, he activates Metavision and says, let's move BLUELOCK, as we see Karasu, Ryo, Shidou, all with widened out eyes, which is a telltale sign it's about to go down. And the hype levels continue. Charles, mad confused, just says, what, huh? They're all rushing in? And this got Renoir stressing. Mans is fully extending his arm trying to stop this attack himself, as he makes the realization of that's it, Karasu's not just their crux. But together with Hiyori, it's a double game maker system, as Hiyori hits another pass straight to Karasu with all the ice shards breaking off. Hiyori then starts inner monologuing on how Karasu's moving the ball up and he's the one changing the pace. As they're attacking up front with their combined ideas, Karasu is staring at the ball going towards him, but slams the brakes, making Camus stuck in place. But this was all according to plan, because the ball actually went to Isagi Yoichi, with Hiyori finishing his sentence and saying that leaves Isagi free behind them. And oh boy, come on Isagi, this is your time to shine. Do not fumble once again. Otherwise, it's gonna be harder and harder to defend you, dog. We see the puzzle pieces start flying off Isagi as his metavision is activated too, and he compliments Karasu on the through ball. Which again, just a second ago, they were about to box, so it's surprising to see them work together. But sliding in front of Isagi is the God Sprinter himself, who says, I expected that much. And just look at the form here. Bro landing on one foot. And why he looked like he about to kick the life out of Isagi. Isagi's metavision eyes gain an aura though, as he summons a Maharaga, calling up on big bro Itoshi Rin to take the fight instead. Nah, I'm just joking. They're doing a 1-2 play as Isagi taunts Loki, asking him, how about this? It's always fire to see Rin and Isagi working together, and Rin is straight gritting his teeth, saying here comes a surprise combo. Loki starts darting off to Itoshi Rin, and Isagi cuts in to get the ball back, effectively weaving Loki. With egoist 1-2 passes, which I can't deny that's a fire name. However, Loki just says, too slow, you're within my range. And bro zooms on towards Isagi at Mach 10 speed. Isagi ain't even take one step before Loki's already got his arms around him. Which, what the hell, bro? Yeah, maybe we do need Sendo to snipe his legs. He hits Loki with a side eye with a very obvious frustrated look, but the puzzle pieces continue to flow because there is one more backup plan. Isagi grits his teeth, and now for one more surprise connection as a Barou Shoei runs in towards the ball Isagi passed. And oh my god, it's genuinely been years since we last seen Barou touch the ball, which is crazy to think about. We even see his beautiful lightning aura or whatever while he's sprinting down, and we are in the year 2026 and seeing Barou and Isagi play together. When was the last time we seen this combo? One time in the U20 and the other in the second selection? Yeah, I bet I made every single one of us feel old, including myself. Isagi says, come on, the hungry lion, as Barou just says, it's time to get nasty. Again, if anyone but Barou Shoei said this dialogue, we would all think it's corny. He looks straight ahead as two of the France defenders are in front of him, as well as the goal in front of him too. But we will have to continue this later because the chapter ends off there. It's very unfortunate this chapter ended off on a cliffhanger like that, but we got a lot we can talk about from it, especially prediction-wise. We can kind of guess what's gonna happen in the next half chapter. So let's talk about it all. Now, first things first, I'm just super hyped to see Barou and Shidou play. It's been so long. It's such a breath of fresh air. I know a lot of people came back to the manga just to see them play. Shidou working with the team, Barou doing Barou things, especially with that cliffhanger. I do expect both of them to score a goal each throughout this France game. Now, let's address some important topics. Hugo is still nowhere to be seen on the pitch. We saw him analyze the BLUELOCK team, and that's it. And we all know Hugo is an Avengers level threat. So like he always does, I feel like he'll appear at the perfect time and at the perfect place with the final boss music playing. I mentioned it earlier, but I'm excited to see what his interactions will be like with Barou and Shidou, especially because we know their characters don't really align with Hugo's philosophy. I also want to talk about Loki a little bit, and honestly, I hope he does good for the next few chapters. Like, bro, really got to be putting up some generational numbers, because right now I feel like interest is kind of falling off for him, at least for me personally, because during PXG, he was just this unstoppable machine. Yes, he's a striker. I know he's not supposed to be the best on defense. I understand that, but remember that Loki was hyped up as one of the best players going into this game. We've seen what he's capable of, but now we haven't seen much of him, where the interest is kind of falling off. In fact, people even earlier during the first half were saying they lost interest in him already. I know they'll fix it in the future. There is no way they won't give him a crazy moment, and we won't be having this conversation later on once Loki does his thing, but that's just currently how I feel though. Again, I've seen some people say the same thing, and I wonder if y'all feel the same way about Loki as well. Like, I know he's going to do good, it's just the interest isn't all there anymore. I don't really care if he does too good. Maybe it's just telling how good of a character Hugo is because I want to see more of him. But hell, that's probably all gonna change once Loki gets his screen time. Kunigami is also another character that kind of got shafted. He didn't make an appearance this chapter, but Kunigami's disappearance is a lot more explainable. He's on defense. They didn't show any of the other defenders. I honestly don't mind it. In terms of the next half chapter, we might actually get a goal with how fast we're going. They passed a lot in this chapter for a reason, so that we're closer to the goal. Barou also has the ball, so maybe he scores a goal, and I wouldn't even count out Shidou. The last time we saw him, he was in the background being marked by Charles. So if Charles leaves Shidou, or Shidou just beats him in a one-on-one, or Hugo gets on Barou and blocks him, I think there's an opportunity for maybe Shidou to swoop in and get something done. Now, I do agree that would be a very fast-paced goal. It would be another goal right after the kickoff, just like the start of this game where Charles scored in literally the kickoff chapter. But if there's only 8 to 9 chapters left, it makes sense why we're going faster. The next chapter title is literally the same thing as this, No Guard Part 2. The other half of this chapter will be coming next week, and I'm excited. Again, hoping the best for Nomura's recovery, break week, half chapters, whatever the case it is, we will always be here supporting and be here for the ride. Anyways, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching as always. If I'm quieter than usual, I'm recording at like 4 a.m., so that explains it. YouTube really thinks you like this video right here, so be sure to check that one out too. I appreciate y'all so much, and I'll see y'all in the next one.